morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to this Uncommon Ngondro class. We have a special guest from Singapore, Miss Leong. Welcome to this class. Okay, what is the meaning of Uncommon Ngondro? Uncommon Ngondro is actually meant for people who are serious about their spiritual path. In this context today, what we are talking about is, we are talking about the Buddhist way. Buddhist way is not Buddhist. A lot of people think that Buddhist is a religion. But actually the Buddhist way is not a religion. It's a way of life. But this class is a bit special because we are following the Yuthok Nyingthig lineage. Yuthok Nyingthig lineage means that we are actually following the masters of Tibetan medicine, or I would say that the person who has made Tibetan medicine available to the Tibetans at that time. This Yuthok, as explained earlier, he is actually the manifestation of Medicine Buddha. Because Medicine Buddha is in a Dhammakaya form. Everything in this samsara, in this mundane world, we need to have something that we can see physically. And to be able to see physically the Buddha, Medicine Buddha, manifested in the form of Yuthok Ngondro. First the older Yuthok and then later the younger Yuthok. So what we are learning here is because the younger Yuthok realized the importance of the 21st century and the century ahead. So he wrote down a lot of texts, a lot of teachings, so that the next generation of people are available to see what's going on and to know what it's all about. So as far as the Uncommon Ngondro is concerned, it has something to do with the preliminary practices. Preliminary practices. We have done the Uncommon Ngondro, which is meant for everybody, irrespective of what their following is. But this Uncommon Ngondro is more specifically for people who are really serious about getting out of this suffering world. Because Buddha has already given the methods and ways to get out of this suffering world. So for those people who are serious, they need to understand how that we can do it. I am not a philosopher teacher, neither am I graduated from any Nalanda University. I just follow Dr. Nida and other refugees. So what I am doing here today, I'm just sharing you my understanding of Uncommon Ngondro with my life journey. My life journey and with my experiences on this Uncommon Ngondro. So therefore, the most important criteria in Uncommon Ngondro, in my belief, or I believe that we should know, because my observation, many people go for retreat, especially recently. Follow Dr. Nida in some of the spiritual teachings. Some of these spiritual teachings, you know, is actually very important, but they don't even realize the seriousness of these practices. They just think it's just for knowledge. Of course, if it is just for knowledge, it's just for knowledge. You won't be able to get out of the samsara or out of your own samsara. In my book, I would say it means that our emotions. So our emotion is the biggest samsara, because from these emotions, you know, the 5 poisons, our ego, the 5 poisons. So the mind, because of this 5 poison, is affected. See, especially when the ego engender jealousy towards people, and then the ego wants to be superior to others, which is pride, object of attachment and aversion, jealousy, and all these poisons are the one that is creating suffering in our life. So the only way to get out of this suffering, okay, of course the common Ngondro itself, we can, if we follow some of the practices in the common Ngondro. But in the uncommon Ngondro, we go one level higher. The uncommon Ngondro starts with the important thing, refuge. We can do many meditational practices. We can do many Buddhist texts, Buddhist learning, knowledge, philosophy, whatever. But if you call yourself a Buddhist and you have not done a refuge, it's a bit shy to call yourself a Buddhist, and it's a bit shy learning, learning from the Dharma teachers on the Buddhist philosophy. Of course, in the spiritual sense, the teachers don't mind. Teachers don't mind because of ignorance. But to me, some of these people who learn Buddhist way of life, but without actually recognizing and respecting the principles behind it, I feel very bad. So why very bad? Because when you take refuge, it means that you are going under a tree. This is a normal situation. How many of us, when we go for a car park, you always look for a shade. You always try to look for a shade that is taking refuge under something. A shade in this case. You want to be comfortable. So the tree, when you take refuge under the tree, so you have a good shade. Similarly, in this case, we take refuge because we want to enlighten our mind to get out of the samsara, to get out of suffering. I'm inspired to share with you a story of this refuge, the power and importance of this refuge. Before this refuge, we would like to, if you can, we'll follow this. This is a very nice refuge. It's done in a very unique way. Okay, I will start, and you can join me. This refuge prayer. This is a refuge prayer. Okay. Then I will explain to you the importance of this refuge prayer. This is a common Buddhist refuge prayer, Tibetan following. Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, 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 Namo take refuge in the Guru, not the Buddha first, in this sense, in the practice sense. In the Theravadan way, it is Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, excuse me, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatiyampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Okay. See, it is just taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. In the Tibetan way, we put Guru first because Guru is the one who can guide us the way. Therefore, when we take refuge, we must make sure we choose a Guru that you are able to keep in touch with. A Dharma teacher or a person who has done a 3-year or a 6-year retreat, or somebody who understands the Buddhist teaching real well. Why you need to do that? To take you off of superstitious. To make your mind more clear on what is happening in your life and what is happening in this outside world. If you go to the wrong teacher, the wrong Dharma teacher, or the wrong whatever teacher it is, what's going to do is it's going to increase your suffering because they are going to put you into more superstitious, they are going to take you into unnecessary beliefs and create more ignorance into your life. And you will have to do so many things that create karma to your life. Buddha's teaching is very simple. Okay. To those who are able to, he taught it in the Theravadan way. Very simple. Just follow the precepts. Just follow the virtues that he has given. But because he knew that the Tibetans are a little bit more, how you say, aggressive, because in Tibet those days they are very aggressive. He manifested in Vajradhara form and the primordial Buddha form and taught his Tibetan and showed the Tibetan the Vajrayana way, which was later he predicted another Buddha would come, which is actually Guru Padmasambhava, to follow up on this teaching of the Vajrayana. So because in Tibetan, in the old Tibetan, what's happening was they were more involved with magic, black magic and witchcraft, that sort of thing. One teaching. Okay. So, and then, because even the one teaching, they also have the good points. But because people are not able to let go their greed, their desires, their pride, their jealousies, their ego, they are not able to let this go and cling to it. I am right, everybody else is wrong. I am smarter, everybody else doesn't know what's going on. So because of this, they use the same way to teach the Tibetans. And he also knew, the Buddha also knew that the Tibetans, because in the cold country and in this very challenging state, health is a big challenge. So because of the health challenge, he came out with a, how you say this, a retreat where you do prostrations, chanting, prostrations and chanting. So when you are doing this, you are actually circulating all your whole the blood system, you are activating all your channels, clearing all your channels. Clearing the present channel in your physical body, as well as clearing your channels that is deep inside your Akashic record or your subconsciousness. Dig it out and throw it away. In so many practices that he has given, which we will go through one by one, or as much as we can to understand. It is no use you go to a retreat, just do and people are doing, why people are circumambulating, why people are just prostrating. You just follow, but without realizing the essence of what you are doing. The benefit is only minimal. It is like we were learning yesterday. You only learn the good, but you haven't learned the best. To get the best out of that practice. Therefore, most people after the retreat, they come back to repeat the same things again. Because they have not really understood the importance of these teachings, the practice. And the worst situation is, it's like when you are clearing a space, when we clear this place, what's happening there? There is a void, isn't it? When you clear this space, it becomes a void. Now, if the void is not carefully maintained, you got new rubbish coming in. This rubbish may be worse than before. So therefore, this uncommon Ngondro is a way where we are able to really, we need to know, understand. And this is what this class is all about. Okay. So coming back to understanding the refuge means taking guide under a teacher, and choosing the teacher is important. We also need to understand that the teacher is also the human or the physical representation of the deity or of the Buddha. So therefore, when we say Namo Guru Be, we not only take refuge in the physical teacher. That means when we say we take refuge in the physical teacher, that means we learn under him. But in actual fact, when we take refuge under the teacher, because that teacher represents, in this case, like Dr. Nida represents Yuthok. So when we take refuge in him, so we take refuge in Yuthok, no difference. Because he's teaching you exactly what Yuthok has taught and what his teachers has taught him about Yuthok. And so it's important to take refuge in the teacher, because if you go and learn a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, then you get confused. Because every teacher's understanding of what was taught to him or transmitted to him is his perception, his understanding. So he may have, the important thing is he must do his homework. He has done his homework. So it's very easy to see the right person to learn from or not to learn from. When you ask certain things, information, contemplate on those things. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? For example, when I took refuge, I was supposed to take refuge under one teacher those days. The first thing he says, you can contribute this to me. Huh? That's not cheap to contribute. I then start to think twice about that teacher. So the only thing the teacher, when we take refuge, is the only thing the teacher does is he just take a little bit of the hair and send it off back to nature. As a ritual, as a respect, accepting you as a student. In Chinese martial art, we call Sifu is actually taking refuge in the master. It's called second father. Sifu. That means the master becomes the father. So that is like in tradition when you offer the tea to the master, only the master drink the tea, he accepts you. If the master take the tea, put aside the table, you are not his totayat. You are not his disciple yet. So there are two things in the samsara you must understand. Being a student and being a disciple. Being a student, yes, you can learn from here, you can learn from there, you can collect all the knowledge. But if you want to follow being a disciple means you follow a path. And when you follow this path, you ask yourself, why you are following this path? Yuthok path, in this case, is because it has a tree. It has got this. After the what you call preliminary teaching practices, which is the Yuthok Nyingthig, then you can do the meditation, the Dokchen, Ati Yoga, then you can do the Mahamudra, the Kama Mudra, then you can have the 6 yogas of Naropa, which is the what you call Tumo, the Bado, the Powa. This is the 6 yogas. Then you can have also the Guru Yoga. Okay? You can do the Guru Yoga. The Guru Yoga is the inner, outer, secret and concise. So it's only after you have done this refuge, retreat, preliminary practices, then it's right to do others. But you know, some people, they go to do all this without even taking refuge. So I don't think that is right. That is right. Okay? So, when we take refuge, after we have taken refuge, then we must understand what is the important practice in the uncommon Ngondro. You have to spend time in meditation. In Yuthok Nyingthig's meditation, we're talking about body meditation. We're talking about voice meditation. We're talking about mind meditation. Okay. So when we talk about body meditation, we are referring to the sitting, the walking, the standing. You know, when we are doing the yogas, all these are meditation related to the body and awareness. Even when you are doing the prostration, okay, that is also a meditation. Then the voice meditation is this morning. This morning when we did the refuge prayer, did you feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
See? So from the voice meditation, sometimes we can even release our emotion. That's the voice meditation, mantras. But unfortunately, I don't agree with some modern ways. They changed the mantra into modern music. That is something I don't think is right. Like for example, you know, when we chant the mantra, Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Oh my God, this is disco. Wrong. I don't agree. So even that is the idea why you need to choose the right guru to advise you, the right group of people, the right sangha. Then you take refuge in the sangha, the community. Hey, what do you think about this? Because if one person recommend you the wrong, you do everything wrong already all along the way, and then you collect karma unnecessary. You see or not? Why? Because you see, Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra itself has to do with the 6 lokas, has to do with the 6 realms, the 6 healing, the 6 emotion healing.
I saw the book yesterday. Master Lin said the Om Mani Padme Hum also heal the organs and
because of the 6 colors, of course, then it heals your organs as well. So if you sing it like dum chak chak, so what it heals, it makes you more different, the feeling is different. So that is the importance of taking refuge. So when we are talking about voice mantra, or voice meditation, it is important that when we sing, when we recite the prayer, when we recite the mantra, as in the retreat, we will be reciting some prayers. Dr. Nida's wife has recorded in the what is the title of the turquoise chant, in the turquoise chant, which is very good. So we do some of it later. So when you recite that, you feel the transformation. But not only that, chanting is important. You must understand what you are chanting. Okay, so therefore, the voice meditation, and when you are doing chanting, you can actually transform. You can transform the cells in the body. You can transform water. You can transform medicine. You can transform the energy, the characteristics of anything that's physical. So that is the voice meditation. Okay. So through our voice, we have mindful activities. Then we have the mind meditation. So the mind meditation is, we are talking about Shamatha and Vipassana. So the calming of the mind and the analyzing of the what you call this thinking, analyzing and thinking. So this is very important, analyzing and thinking, because in our everyday life this happens. And how this happened, one good example in my experience was this. Years back, when I wanted to send 2 engineers, I was only given one place by the principal in a factory in Japan to send 1 engineer for training. But 2 engineers are also hardworking. 2 engineers, they were also, contributing to the company. Then how do I choose the right engineer? Which engineer should I do? So I have to sit down, I have to meditate, then analyze. Oh, this engineer has got these qualities. This engineer has got these qualities. This engineer will do this. This engineer is from this family. This engineer is from this family. And if he do this, what's happening? And if he goes this, what's happening? And then the solution came. Who to choose? As we were just talking in between the mind, analyzing who and what to do. Similarly, in your life, you can do the same thing. There's a business of buying this house or buying this house. Then you just understand this house, where is this situated? This house, where is this situated? This house, how much is the rental, how fast it can go, same thing to this, how the income can come, can it cover up this, can do that. And as you do the analyzing slowly, you will get the answer. The only thing is you need to spend time. You need to give yourself the time. Many of us have difficulty in making choices. To come to a spiritual class or to go out and have fun with friends. They just take the easy way, have fun. Because the fun is very easy, you forget everything and have enjoy. But if you go and think deeper a bit about this fun, you ask this fun, is it going to be permanent or just temporary? And you analyze, what does it bring to you? When I go to this spiritual class, it's going to be a dull class. It's going to be something that may not be beneficial, something that is not against my teaching or whatever. Then I go to this fun, I have fun, I enjoy this, but I will be spending money. So as you analyze and think and think and think and analyze, the answer will come to you what to choose. Choosing whether fun or choosing the class is neither right or wrong. Okay? But it's the choice that you make that makes your life journey the important thing. Choose making the right choice or the choice to benefit your life journey. Similarly, we sometimes, like in the old days, it's very easy. The parents will make arrangement. Okay, it's time for you to get married now. Such a time, we will send the dowry to the other house and then send the woman go negotiate, get all these things, all go there, and then that's it. You come on the wedding day, the sedan chair will come, take you to the house, you get married. So the choice is already made for you, and they accept the choice. And sometimes it turns out to be very good, although sometimes it may turn out to be bad. But today the partners have got so many choices, The partners have got so many choices. So you will have to sit down and think, which one, why don't I have? What's happening to me? Why am I so not attractive? Do I need a partner? Do I need somebody to take care of me when I'm old? Do I need somebody to walk this journey with me? Is this the right one? If I choose this, what will happen? So if you sit down and analyze and think about it, you will get the answer. Instead of immediately condemning, this one is not right, this is not. So you do not meditate at all. You do not spend time on meditation or the situation at all. So it will always remain there. So when we talk about meditating on any subject, today I learned this, the method of doing things. I learned how to, like for example, early morning when I came to the center, what attracted me was when I was parking the car, right in front of me there was this lady in her I think she would be in her 50s, but looked like she is in her 60s. She had a plaster on her eye here, plaster on the forehead, and the rubbish, carrying a recycled rubbish here, rubbish there. So I was like looking at her, I said, oh my God, she's not feeling well, having all this. Immediately she started cursing me, scolding me with, blessing me, not scolding me, blessing me with holy words, because she thinks that I'm looking down on her. She has got low self-esteem. Because I'm looking at her like, oh dear, at this age, you still got to collect all this. But because she has not got rid of her ego, why you must look down on me, I'm carrying rubbish. And because she has not transformed, her way of thinking. If she has given a chance, why is this man looking at me like that? You know? Why is he like, staring or adjusting his eyesight? It makes a difference. Instead of immediately judging that. So, her defense became an attack. I just, send her my love. Okay, bless you, I bought my car. But this is what's happening. If we do not transform our inner self, if our inner self is not transformed, this is exactly what's happening. We always judge and think ourselves, there is somebody who is not treating us right. Somebody is always cheating us. We are always thinking we are right. This is what happened early this morning itself, this powerful message. So I smiled at her and I waved at her. She took the luggage and the baggage, all the rubbish. She walked off somewhere. You know. But if that lady has some spiritual guidance, if that lady has got some spiritual guidance, if I were in her place, what I would have done is, I would quickly carry all my luggage, smile and walk away, whatever the situation is. Although I'm proud, but I'm proud in the sense that I'm still humble. I take the rubbish and I just walk away instead of scolding the other party. So this is what the mind meditation about. The important thing about mind meditation is transforming your inner self. It's easy to chant, it's easy to practice yoga or practice qigong or practice what for benefit. Or taming the mind is the most difficult but the most beneficial. In taking refuge, in the medicine Buddha, when we take refuge in Yuthok, we are taking refuge in the medicine Buddha, not only medicine Buddha, because in the mandala of medicine Buddha there are also other non-Buddhist deities. So, but it doesn't mean that we are going to them. It means that they will come and help if there's any, needed issues that need to be helped. And also the importance of taking refuge in the Yuthok is as explained here in the text. Because when Yuthok attained enlightenment, he says this: if you give up your heart and mind to me, beseech me in a sincere way, overcome your lack of faith and hope me in as a refuge throughout your life, immediately your two obscurations will diminish. Upon meeting me in reality, in vision or in dream, I will reveal the path to the temporal and ultimate goal. So this is his promise, this is the Yuthok's promise. And the beauty of the Yuthok is that when you look at the statue, of Yuthok, in his left hand he holds a pink lotus flower representing Chenrezig, the Buddha of compassion. That means that Yuthok has extraordinary compassion for all beings. And on the, what you call this, inside the pink lotus, a vase representing the medicine Buddha, and beside is a Vajra, symbolizing the Vajrapani. So in other words, you have the three Buddhas, wisdom, also there's a sword. So you have Manjusri, you have Chandrasik, and you have Vajrapani. So these three deities, what it does is, you have compassion, you have wisdom, and you have power to follow up in your practice. Taking refuge alone in the Yuthok lineage, or in Yuthok. Okay. There is also what you call this.
And his what hand?
There is also a jewel that sits on the vase, which is the image of wealth, and it's also representing Ratna Sambhava. There is also a Myrobalan plant, signifying medicine Buddha. Altogether, this item represents the 5 Buddha families, known as the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, and they are the icon of Mahayana Buddhism. Each representations a different aspect of enlightened consciousness and to aid the spiritual transformation. See here, there's a vase. On the vase, there's a Ratna, a jewel. And then there is the Vajra.
Shobe.
Okay. And then on the right hand you have a sword, Manjusri sword. Then you have the Myrobalan flower and the representing the. So that means if we follow the path of Yuthok Nyingthig, it is like all in one in all. So when we talk about taking refuge and the important refuge, I just like to share with you one story here that my teachers told long ago. There was at one time, there was this guy a businessman. So this businessman one day was like passing a monastery or center, and during passing this center, he heard the Rinpoche giving a teaching on refuge. So, and then he heard the refuge, he says, sounds so nice, So then he says, I like the Sanskrit, the Buddham Saranam Gacha, Dhammam Saranam Gacha, Sangham Saranam Gacha. So it sounds so soothing, the vibration. So then he was listening, and after that, he had to hurry back. But this businessman, his house got to pass the bridge. He got to pass a bridge. Actually, at that time, there were 2 demons waiting to take somebody's life. And then this guy happened to be, at that time, his luck was down. Why he was a businessman, why he didn't go in was because his business was down and his luck was down. He was in a very bad shape. So, and then he just said, okay, never mind. How to take refuge now? I also have cannot survive. My business is so bad. But anyway, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. He keep mumbling, He keep mumbling this, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dhamma, Sangha. So as he was walking, now actually his fate was supposed to fall inside the river. That was his fate. And actually, why was the fate? Because the 2 demons were supposed to take his life. But because he was chanting and mumbling these words, there was glow in his body. When he was chanting, there was a light, invincible to the physical eye. But to the eyes of the other dimension, these two demons were saying, this guy coming, but he's so bright, how to approach? Unable to approach. And he kept on chanting. And because of that, he passed the bridge and went home. And he even didn't know that because of his just chanting the refuge prayer, that his life was saved. Until one day, a village we call it what? Soothsayer. Then he looked at him and said, wow, now your stars is very bright here. It was like the last time I saw you, you were going to fail. You're going to, leave this world. He said, oh yeah, I wanted to commit suicide actually because I was doing very bad in business. But unfortunately, that day I wanted to jump to the river, but somehow I missed the river. I missed that river. I passed the bridge, I didn't even realize there was a bridge. Oh, so no wonder, but now your luck is changed completely. You're already blessed. He says, whatever you did the right thing. He said, I didn't do anything, I was just mumbling what I heard them mumbling. It was very soothing to me. I was very troubled. I was very troubled with the business, and I was just singing, chanting the refuge as they were chanting. At least I felt comfortable in my heart. So that saved his life. So this is the importance of taking refuge. So therefore, when we take refuge in if we are following the Yuthok lineage and you take refuge in the Yuthok, so in other words, that all those, including the protector Shangro, which we need in our everyday life, they will come for your protection unseen. Now, that is only still not completed the journey. So the important journey now we have to follow is we have to create a Bodhicitta mind, a compassionate mind. Okay. The practice of compassion with wisdom. So in our Mahayana, or in the Tibetan Mahayana practice, we have one wonderful prayer. Sangje Chodan Chogi Chonam La Jangju Badu Dani Kersoche Dagi Jinsot Jipe Sonam Ki Trola Benja Sanje Joba Shon. Simply means that the Buddha, Dharma and Supreme Assembly, which is the Sangha, until enlightenment, I take refuge in you. I will, through the merit of generosity and so on, achieve Buddhahood for the benefit of sentient beings as wide as space. So, here itself, the refuge prayer, because you have the feeling for all sentient beings, that itself is a compassion. That itself is a big. And on top of that, when we have the perfection, so what are the 6 perfections? We are talking about generosity, we are talking about ethics, we are talking about patience, we are talking about effort, we are talking about meditation, we are talking about wisdom. By applying these ethics in our life, these 6 paramitas in our life, every Buddha, every Bodhisattvas who practice this will attain enlightenment. And according to many teachers, by just practicing the 6 paramita, one can attain enlightenment. Generosity Generosity is a perfect generosity. What is a perfect generosity? A perfect generosity comes from the heart. It is not money, it's neither, it's money, but it is not only on money alone. It can be giving time, it can be giving your energy to help people, you can give your energy to do community service, give energy for teachings, giving from the heart. So no matter how small you give, but if it comes from the heart, it becomes a perfect generosity. Okay. And this is important. Now, when we talk about morality or ethics, okay. Now, many of us feel that in this present time, many are lack of ethics. Where is this ethics? There was this time when I visited Nepal, and I bring this up. On the stupa, they have this small stupa. These guys are sitting on the stupa and then with the leg and smoking on the stupa, eating something on around the stupa. Where is the morality? They don't respect such a pure space, you know, in Swambut, in the little Swambut, in Swambut, or where all these cultures of the stupa was. They were like doing things that was not, how you say, I don't think it's moral, in the sense that, you know, not the normal kind of hugging, you know. They are like, worse to put it is like making love near the stupa area. That's not good ethics. Good ethics means, I believe, is there is a place for everything, and everything has its place. It's not good ethics if we take something that doesn't belong to us. Because we can assume, this one nobody wants. But it doesn't belong to you, you still got to get permission to take it. It's one of the perception, perfection, one of the virtues. You know. Do not percept, do not take what does not belong to you. So, ethics plays a very important role sometimes. Like for example, some people, when they come for the Dharma class, they are wearing so low cut, so short, the short, you know. I mean, the teacher will not be distracted, but the participants will be distracted. All the other participants will be distracted. They won't have the mind to listen to the teacher. Their eyes will be looking there, you know, and looking there. They won't be listening. I don't think that's ethical. Yes, you have gone overseas. Yes, you have studied overseas. Yeah, people don't care. But if you are in the temple, you're in a monastery, respect. Pay some respect. Because the Buddhas, the teachers don't mind. But you distract others. That is a big cost. Coming cost.
The person can say that it's your mind.
Whatever you say it is, but you are still causing something. Similarly, you know, you throw a seed, let the seed grow wherever it is, but if you don't throw the seed will be one place. But you throw the seed, you still take the action of throwing the seed. So if the seed falls into a rocky area, grows very hard in the rocky area, you are one of those who throw it in the rocky area. If you plant it nicely, then the seed grows nicely. But if you don't do anything about the seed, it's okay, the seed just sit there. You know, can say whatever it is, but still you are the cause. So ethics is very important in our journey in life. I think the patience is the most difficult sometimes to practice, but yet it is very important in life. For married couples, it's a very good place to train patience, because couples always quarrel every day almost, for certain things. So you need a real patience between the man and the woman, or for the matter woman and woman, or man and man, whatever it is, to be patient with each other, to communicate and patient with each other. Most things happen is because of the impatience. Sometimes we even have impatience on the road. The car cut in, and you can't wait. Somebody waiting and for you, and then call you up. Hey, are you coming? I'm coming lah. So if you say, oh yeah, okay, I will be there. Don't worry, I'm on my way. Because there is kind of impatience within you, unnecessary. You create unnecessarily, subconsciously, you create frictions. It's difficult to practice patience because, like for example, again, like if you are a person who is handling mud, when you're making a, how do you say, porcelain, or art. So there is this, you step and this thing go round and round, then you put the mud, and you got to slowly hold the mud until it forms a certain vase or whatever you want to make. You need the patience to do the thing, to play with the mud, to get something real nice out of it. You cannot just chip like that, chip. No, it doesn't give you a good result. Similarly, you see, sometimes you need to have patience. Even in what you call this, yesterday we had a test of the patient. So, as long as we have patience, it takes time, but we connect this. Oh, the amplifier work. When you got no patience, you say, take this away lah, finish off. Then yesterday everybody would not have the amplifier. So you need patience in life. I think that is very important. In Qigong practice, in yoga practice, meditation practice, spiritual practice, it took me 15 years to transform my bad temper. It took me 15 years to transform some of my bad habits. But I believe if the patient was not there, I don't think all these habits can be get rid of. And also effort. If I don't have the effort, if I didn't put in the effort, all the bad habits will not be transformed. So the important thing is we need to put in effort. So we cannot just sit down and say, okay lah, now I already done this, everything will happen by itself. Nothing will happen. So you need to have some effort. So similarly, we put in the effort, and then we slowly connect. Even though the wire is cut and roughly connected, still we got a good result. So Then, when we come to the fifth item, which is meditation, okay, so this is the perfection, meditation. We need to have perfection or meditation. And then, wisdom. Perfect wisdom is the realization of self-nature. So we also need wisdom. If you have compassion without wisdom, you always go into issues. Okay. So we hold this on.